What if I told you that the next 15 years of your life will feel like hell? Not metaphorical hell, real chaos, confusion, a kind of collective suffering that will make you question your identity, your purpose, even your place in the world. And what if I told you that on the other side of that hell lies the most extraordinary heaven humanity has ever imagined? I want you to stay with me, because this isn't just another technology is coming talk. This is about your life, about your future, about whether you and the people you love will be swept away by the tide, or whether you'll stand tall as the world burns and rebuilds itself. In the next 15 years, we will live through the biggest transformation in human history, faster, more disruptive, and more personal than anything our ancestors ever experienced. And if you don't understand what's coming, you risk being unprepared, left behind, broken. But if you do, if you pay attention, adapt, and lean into the chaos, then you'll be one of the few who walks through the fire and reaches the heaven that lies beyond it. Technology is accelerating faster than our biology, our psychology, or our systems can adapt. For centuries, human progress was slow, almost invisible. From the invention of the wheel to the Industrial Revolution to electricity, change came in centuries, sometimes decades. We had time to absorb it. But not anymore. Artificial intelligence, automation, biotechnology. These things don't move linearly, they move exponentially. That means in the time it takes you to blink, the world you thought you understood no longer exists. Think about it this way. If you take 30 linear steps, you end up about 30 meters away. But if you take 30 exponential steps, doubling every time, you circle the entire planet. That's what AI is doing right now. It's doubling, evolving, and surpassing us at speeds our minds simply cannot grasp. The acceleration trap is this: humans are built for slow adaptation. We evolved in caves, in tribes, in small groups where change was seasonal, not hourly. Now, we live in a world where an algorithm updates faster than your brain can form a new habit. And what happens when humans can't keep up with the tools they created? Fear, anxiety, paralysis. You've probably felt it already, the sense that you're always behind, always chasing something you don't understand. That's the trap. It's not just about speed. It's about what happens to our mental state when the treadmill we're running on keeps getting faster and never slows down. So the first truth is this: the next 15 years will feel like hell because the pace of change will outstrip your ability to adapt, unless you learn how to rewire the way you think, how you work, and how you live. Every institution you were told to trust is going to struggle, maybe even collapse, under the weight of exponential change. Jobs, industries, governments, even schools. They're all built on slow-moving models. They're designed for predictability, stability, and control, and none of those things exist in the world that's coming. Let's take work. For decades, your worth in society was defined by what you did for a living. You trained for years, you specialized, and in exchange you got stability, a career, a paycheck, an identity. But when AI can do your job faster, cheaper, and with zero fatigue, what happens to that model? Entire industries will vanish. It won't just be blue-collar jobs replaced by machines. It will be lawyers, doctors, accountants, designers, even creators. The very things we thought were safe are not safe at all. And then there's education. Schools still prepare children for jobs that will not exist. They teach them to memorize, to conform, to regurgitate when the world requires agility, creativity, and resilience. That system will break too. Governments will struggle to keep up. Policy always lags behind progress, and when technology moves at exponential speed, that lag becomes catastrophic. Laws will be outdated before the ink dries. The collapse of old systems will feel like chaos because the very ground beneath you, the things you were told to build your life on, will no longer be stable. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Collapse is not always destruction. Sometimes it's a clearing. The burning of the old makes way for the planting of the new. Now we get to the part no one talks about enough. The real crisis won't just be technological, it will be psychological. When your job is taken by a machine, you don't just lose your income. You lose your sense of worth. You lose the answer to the question, who am I? And when millions of people all face that same crisis at once, society enters dangerous territory. Depression, anxiety, and loneliness are already at epidemic levels. Add the collapse of work, the collapse of identity, and the constant noise of acceleration, and you get a generation of people who feel purposeless, powerless, and disconnected. This is the real hell. Not machines rising up against us, but humans turning against themselves. Suicide rates increasing, addictions spiraling, communities fragmenting because people no longer see their place in the story. If you want to survive the next 15 years, your greatest weapon will not be intelligence, it will be resilience. Your ability to sit in the storm without losing yourself. Your ability to find purpose beyond your paycheck. Your ability to reconnect with what makes you human. Love, creativity, empathy, connection. Because when everything external is stripped away, what's left is internal. And if you haven't built that foundation, the psychological fallout will destroy you long before the machines ever could. Here's another uncomfortable reality. In the future, you will not know what's real. AI has already blurred the line between reality and illusion. Deep fakes, synthetic media, misinformation at scale. We are entering a world where truth is not just contested, it is almost impossible to verify. Imagine watching a video of your president declaring war and not knowing if it's real. Imagine receiving a message from a loved one and not knowing if it was written by them. Imagine an entire election being swayed not by facts, but by fabricated realities so convincing that even experts can't tell the difference. The battle for truth will be the defining battle of the next 15 years. Because if you can't trust what you see, what you hear, or what you read, then the foundation of society itself begins to crack. The winners in this battle won't be the smartest people. They will be the ones who can think critically, the ones who question deeply, the ones who refuse to outsource their thinking to algorithms and headlines. To survive, you must develop the muscle of discernment. You must learn how to slow down, to investigate, to think for yourself in a world that wants you to react instantly. Because if you lose the battle for truth, you don't just lose information, you lose your freedom. Now, here's the turning point. The next 15 years will feel like hell. Yes, but hell is not destiny. It is a possibility. Technology is neutral. It has no intention, no morality. It is a tool. And the question that matters is not, what will AI do to us? The question is, what will we choose to do with AI? We can choose to use it as a weapon, for profit, for control, for domination. That path leads to inequality, manipulation, and despair. Or we can choose to use it as a tool for abundance, creativity, and freedom. That path leads to a heaven we can barely imagine. The choice is not made by governments or corporations alone, it is made by us. Every decision, every innovation, every ethical line we choose to draw or ignore contributes to the direction we go. The choice of humanity is whether we let the storm break us or whether we use it to clear the sky. And here's the hardest truth. You don't get to sit this one out. Whether you like it or not, you are part of the choice. The way you consume technology, the way you teach your children, the way you use your voice and your vote, it all matters. Hell is not inevitable, but neither is heaven. The future is not written, it is designed. So let's imagine for a moment that we make it through, that we endure the acceleration, that we survive the collapse, that we heal the psychological wounds, that we win the battle for truth, and that we choose wisely. What does heaven look like? It looks like a world where machines handle scarcity, where no human starves because food distribution is optimized, where no child dies from preventable diseases because medicine is abundant, where no one wastes their life on meaningless labor because automation has freed them. It looks like a world where creativity becomes our currency, where art, storytelling, and innovation are no longer hobbies, but the essence of what it means to be human. It looks like a world where empathy and connection return to the center, where we stop competing with machines and start collaborating with them, where we measure progress not by GDP, but by human well-being. This heaven is possible, but only if we walk through the hell first, only if we endure the fire without letting it consume us. And so the final truth is this: heaven is not promised, it is not guaranteed, but it is waiting on the other side of 15 years that will test us to our core. The question is not whether the storm is coming, it is. The question is, will you be ready to stand in it? The next 15 years will feel like hell, but if you can endure, adapt, and choose wisely, you will live to see a heaven that was once impossible to imagine.